Hey everybody, it's a new week at the Hyatt house and we are outside and on the roof. We are able to get the caulking stuff that we needed. So what we're gonna do is sand and scrape the roof first. Then we're gonna caulk and patch any holes. Then we're gonna prime it and then we're gonna put a sealing coat on it. So we're just getting started this week. Okay, so at first glance, it doesn't look like it's great, but this roof is actually in pretty good shape. So we are scraping off all these little flakes. We are removing any old patches, like right there where Gio's working, that's a seam. So we're removing all of the caulking that was done in the past so that we've got a fresh metal roof. And then we'll seal anything that needs sealing. Then we'll prime it a couple coats and then we'll do a top coat on it. So I think I told you guys before that I brought my roofing guys out here to look at this and they said that I couldn't buy a new roof that would be as good as the metal that's on this one. So that's great. We're gonna make this work. So from this angle, which I'm on the second floor now, you can see some of the tools that they're using. They're just giving it a little scrape. Getting anything loose or anything that wants to come off easy off. And we'll go back and get the things that don't want to come off so easy. We've also got like holes. This was where an old plumbing stack was. So we'll have to do some patching around holes. The most important thing for an old house is to have a good roof. Because if you can keep the water out, you've usually got a pretty good house. Right, so they finished sanding and scraping, and we're putting the first coat of primer on first before we seal up any holes or cracks. So this will help us spot those. Then we'll do the boots around the vents, and then we'll do another coat of primer, and then we'll do a sealant. So late yesterday afternoon, they finished up the porch ceiling or porch roof. They have primed the addition and all of the one-story part of the house. They got up there early this morning and scraped and sanded that original structure part of the roof, and now they are gonna prime that. So that's the part where we got to be super safe. But we are working on the roof this week. Good morning, everyone. We are looking out the second floor windows. This is the porch roof. So the roof that's over the porch. They did a coat of primer, which looks really good. They have done some patches. Let me see. Let me zoom in. You see we got a patch there and a patch over there. Just anywhere where we thought water might penetrate, we did a patch of this. I'll show you. It's like this sausage tube of stuff that's designed for this. So we're going to keep doing that. And then the next coat is our actual sealant, which has got a metallic look to it. We open that and it looks really funky. So I'm gonna have to take it back and probably get them to shake it some more. We've been stirring it for about 15 minutes and it's still not properly mixed. So that's what's happening on the roof. Here's that stuff I told you about. This is what we're gonna put on the top coat, but it's just chunky and thick. So we wanna make sure it's good before we apply it. All right, so we spoke to Sherwin-Williams, and it turns out that this is not a material that can be shaken. It's so thick, and it's got metallic in it, and so it can't be shaken. They've mentioned that we should have turned the buckets over at least 24 hours before we use them. So we haven't opened these. We can do that with these two, but this one, obviously, we can't turn it over. We've already opened it. We have stirred it and stirred it and stirred it, so we're going to try. I'm not sure I love the product. First time using it, the rep recommended it. We're going to put a little bit on the roof and see how it looks, see if it's going to work. Stay tuned. All right, this is that sausage tube that I told you about that has the sealant in it. So we've been using that to seal holes. I told you when we first opened that stuff, it was black. Here's where some of it has leaked out. But we've flipped these over. We're gonna let them sit for 24 hours and then hopefully they'll look good on the roof. All right, so we decided to give that stuff a try, and we have brushed it onto the seams. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks pretty good. It's got a nice finish. It's a good color. So we're gonna keep trying it. We've brushed it on the seams. We'll let the seams dry, and then we've got a big brush. We'll start brushing it. Meanwhile, the guys are on the tallest part of the roof, the three-story roof, and they are scraping that. It's actually in much, much better shape than the lean-to roofs. It's older than the lean-to roofs, but it's in better shape. Probably has something to do with how much slope it has, and that water just rolls off pretty quick. But we don't need to do a lot of patching up there, but we are gonna prime it, and then eventually, if we like this stuff, we'll move it up there too. So the verdict is in, and we like the thick and chunky stuff. We used it on the back. We'll go around there and I'll show it to you in a minute. Right now, the guys are still priming the top floor, and it's kind of a three-man job or two-man job. The pan is in the house, and they hand the roller back, and he reloads the roller, hands it back through the window, and then these guys paint it. So they already brushed on all the seams. Can you see that? Just like we did everywhere else, they brushed the standing seams, and then they're doing coating of the primer next. I hope you can see that they are harnessed in, so hopefully they do not fall, but should they fall, they couldn't fall too far. Let's go to the back and I'll show you that lower level and the chunky stuff that we used. So there is one coat on the first story roof. So you can compare it to that old finish and see this. It's got a little bit of shine, but it's not too metallic that it looks fake. We still want it to look like an old roof. We just want it to look like an old roof that's in really good shape. All right, I am on the third floor. I'm gonna try very hard not to drop my phone or fall out the window. I'm looking at one of those dormers. You see where I'm at. What you're looking at now is that primer that we applied yesterday, but then over on the edges, you see where it's a little bit more metallic. That is where they have started brushing on the top coat. We were concerned about it, but I actually really like it. I like the shine of it. It looks really good from the street. So I am very happy with that. So I don't know if you can see, but it's really metallic. Random, but it reminds me of when I was a little girl, and at the end of the year before we had our dance recital, my mom had to spray paint my tap shoes silver. I don't know why, that just came to mind, but similar technique that we're putting on a 237-year-old roof. Okay, so now I'm looking out the other dormer, and I think you can clearly see the difference there between primed and top coat. It's got a nice shine to it. See when the sun hits it, it's nice. It doesn't look too metallic. It doesn't look like cheesy metallic. So I am happy with how it turned out. While this is the roof over the wooden room and the wallpaper room, I'm standing in this bathroom. This is finished. You can see we added the boots everywhere, that we put new plumbing, and we have sealed every crack, and I think it looks really good. Really good. So this whole side of the top part of the roof and that first dormer are complete, and I think it looks great. You can really see the contrast between the top floor and that porch roof. You can see that porch roof is still just the primer. So we're gonna keep working, but I'm loving it. It's not too shiny. It still looks old. Okay, the upstairs roof is completely finished. The only thing we have left to do is this little one on the porch, which is where we are right now. Again, you can see that metallic where it's been brushed on. I really love it. If you really look at it, you can tell that we've done some work on the roof, but it doesn't jump out to you like, hey, they painted that roof. So it still looks old. So I'm not gonna show you anymore until it's all done. All right, we are standing in the back and everything you see roof-wise is done. You see, you still get that color variation. That roof wasn't rusted, but you still get color variation. I keep saying this, you're tired of hearing me say it, but I just like it because it doesn't look shiny and new. It's a good solid roof, it always was. But now it's just got another layer of protection and it looks a little more even, but it doesn't look new. And that's the goal. All right, folks, there it is. The roof is finished. You already know that I love it. You already know that it looks old, but it looks like it's in good shape, which was our goal. So my next goal is to get you to subscribe. So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and come back next week. We're gonna be talking about shower pans. So we've got, you remember those shower pans that are on the front porch? They've got to go in the showers so that our plumbers can finish up roughing in. So come back next week, and until then, subscribe.